Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're getting into something that most of us probably don't think about much until, well, it stops working. Commercial HVAC systems. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning. We've gathered some really interesting insights on these. So our mission here is to unpack how these systems actually work, why taking care of them is so critical for businesses. I mean, it really hits productivity, energy use, costs, and what are the secrets behind keeping them running well for a long time? Think of this as your fast track to understanding a vital, often invisible part of any workspace.
It really is vital, often invisible, like you said, but foundational. Consistent comfort, good air quality, these aren't just nice to haves. They're absolutely essential for keeping employees happy and productive, for customer experience, sometimes even for protecting products. Ignoring HVAC, it's not just forgetting something minor, it's a genuine business risk, and often a costly one.
That's so true. We tend to just think, oh, it keeps the room warm or cool. But these commercial units are, well, beasts, much more complex. They really are foundational for how a business runs productivity, keeping energy costs down, all of that. The real unsung heroes working away silently.
Exactly. Like any other piece of critical infrastructure,
Uh-huh.
your IT network, your delivery trucks, whatever it is, your HVAC system needs regular, careful attention to do its job properly.
Mm.
Without that, you're looking at more than just an uncomfortable office. You could be facing serious operational problems and big unexpected bills.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that then, if they're that critical. What's the general advice? How often should these commercial HVAC systems actually be serviced? What's the rule of thumb?
Well, the baseline, the general guideline, is at least twice a year.
Sure.
Typically, you're looking at once in the spring, getting ready for the cooling season, and then again in the fall to prep for heating. But that's just a starting point.
Okay, just a baseline. Yeah.
Exactly. The actual frequency really depends on a few things, like the type of system you have, how heavily it's used, even the environment it's operating in.
Hmm.
Is it dusty? Is it near the coast? Things like that matter. For example, think about places where the systems run constantly or under really tough conditions. Maybe a data center that needs precise cooling 24/7, or a busy restaurant kitchen with all that heat and grease, or even certain manufacturing plants. In those kinds of places, you might actually need checkups quarterly, so 4 times a year. The main goal is always preventing those sudden, major breakdowns that can just stop your business in its tracks.
That makes total sense. So this twice-a-year schedule, the biannual thing, why? What's the real nitty-gritty reason behind doing it that often? It sounds like quite a bit, but I imagine there's a strong case for it.
Oh, there absolutely is. Here's the thing people often miss. Commercial HVAC systems, they work hard, often running pretty much constantly all year round.
Mm.
That racks up a huge amount of wear and tear. So this routine maintenance, this twice-a-year check, it's not just about fixing broken stuff. It's about catching those small issues before they spiral into, really expensive, disastrous failures. An emergency repair on a big commercial unit, you could easily be looking at $5, 10, even $20,000 just for parts and labor.
Wow. Okay.
And that's not even counting the lost business, lost productivity if your staff can't work, lost sales if customers won't come in. That can add up to thousands per day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not an expense. It's really a strategic investment to avoid much bigger costs.
That really does put it in perspective. And these checkups aren't just a quick glance, right? They're focused on the season that's coming up.
Exactly, very targeted. So in the spring checkup, the technician is really focused on the air conditioning side. That means checking refrigerant levels. That's the special fluid that actually does the cooling, absorbs heat inside, releases it outside. It's like the system's blood. They'll also clean the coils, the evaporator coil inside, the condenser coil outside. Think of them like the system's lungs. If they get dirty, the whole thing struggles, efficiency plummets, and your energy bill goes way up. And filters, of course. Always filters. Then, come fall, before it gets cold, the focus flips to heating. Checking the heating elements, making sure the thermostat's reading accurately, cleaning burners if it's a gas system, and testing all the safety controls. That's critical.
It's actually, yeah, it's fascinating how much detail goes into one of these professional maintenance visits. I bet a lot of building owners are surprised. It's definitely not just changing a filter and leaving. Could you walk us through some of the key things they actually do during a typical inspection and tune-up? What are the really impactful bits?
Sure. So beyond just looking around for obvious wear, leaks, or weird noises, one of the simplest but most impactful things is filter replacement. Seems basic, right? But clogged, dirty filters are notorious energy wasters. They choke off airflow, make the system strain. Big impact on efficiency. Then there's thermostat calibration. If your thermostat isn't reading the temperature correctly, your system might run too long or not long enough, wastes energy, makes comfort inconsistent. Sometimes they might even suggest an upgrade or reprogramming.
Right. And what about the guts of the machine, the coils you mentioned, the electrical parts?
Yeah, absolutely critical. Coil cleaning, like we said, dirty coils kill efficiency and can shorten the system's life. That's a major task. Then a deep dive into the electrical components. They'll inspect all the wiring, the contacts, the relays, capacitors. Capacitors, for instance, give the motors the kick they need to start up if one's weak or failing. Your unit might not even turn on. So they check all that, tighten connections, replace anything that looks worn out, prevents unexpected electrical failures, and there's more. They'll lubricate moving parts, motors, fan bearings, things like that. Reduces friction, cuts down on wear, helps things last longer. They should also do a ductwork inspection. Look inside the ducts for blockages, check for leaks where conditioned air might be escaping, or even look for signs of mold growth, which affects air quality. And finally, that refrigerant check. Making sure the level is right, adding more if needed carefully. It has to be precise, and really importantly, finding and fixing any leaks. Refrigerant leaks are bad for the system and the environment.
Okay, so if you tie all those details together, cleaning coils, checking wires, fixing leaks, changing filters, it paints a pretty clear picture. This isn't just about preventing a sudden breakdown, is it? What would you say is the biggest, maybe strategic advantage businesses get from being proactive like this?
I'd say it often comes down to predictability. And honestly, the return on investment, a lot of businesses see maintenance as just another cost line. But what our sources show is that it's one of the quickest ways to actually save money. Forget just avoiding those huge emergency repair bills we talked about. A well-maintained system can cut your energy consumption by, well, sometimes up to 30%, according to some studies. That's significant. It's like stopping a major leak in your budget. You get warnings about potential issues early, you can budget more accurately, your operations are more stable. It really does translate directly to the bottom line, plus you get that consistent comfort.
30%. Wow. Okay. So thinking longer term, what does all this care mean for how long these systems actually last? What's the typical lifespan we're talking about for a commercial HVAC unit if you do take good care of it?
That's a really important question for planning. If you're doing proper maintenance, that average lifespan for a commercial system is generally somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 years. But, that's an average. It's not guaranteed. And it raises the next logical question, right? What things actually affect how long a specific system lasts?
Right. What makes one last longer than another?
Well, number one is definitely that maintenance history. We just talked about it. Well-maintained systems, they can definitely push past that 20-year mark sometimes. The type of system matters too. Those big rooftop units you see on commercial buildings? Or maybe a chiller system for a very large building. Or a split system like you might have at home, just bigger. They can have slightly different typical lifespans. How much it's used, the usage patterns. A system running 24/7 in, say, a hospital is going to wear out faster than one in a standard office building. Makes sense. Even the quality of the original installation plays a big role. A bad installation job can cause problems from day one and really shorten the system's life. And lastly, those environmental factors. Salty air near the coast can cause corrosion faster. Heavy industrial pollution can clog things up or wear parts down. It all adds up.
That makes a lot of sense. Lots of variables there. So keeping those factors in mind, what are the warning signs, the red flags? What should you, as the person responsible for the building, be watching out for? What tells you, uh-oh, maybe this system is getting towards the end of its useful life and it might be time to start thinking about a replacement?
Yeah, there are definitely telltale signs you shouldn't ignore. One of the big ones is rising energy bills. If your costs are creeping up month after month and there's no other obvious reasons, it probably means the system is losing efficiency, working harder just to keep up. Frequent repairs is another major one. If you're constantly calling the technician out, replacing parts, that's a clear sign the system is struggling and likely nearing the end. Also, inconsistent heating or cooling, hot spots and cold spots around the building. That suggests it just can't distribute the air effectively anymore. Any loud or unusual noises, grinding, banking, squealing that's never good, usually points to mechanical parts starting to fail. And finally, a noticeable drop in indoor air quality. Maybe it seems dustier. Maybe there are lingering odors. Maybe humidity levels feel off. That can indicate problems deep within the system or the ductwork. If you start noticing several of these signs popping up, yeah, it's probably time to seriously start looking at replacement options. And the upside there is that modern commercial HVAC systems are way more energy efficient than older ones.
They're often better for the environment too, using newer refrigerants. And they come with smarter controls and features. So even though it's a big capital expense, replacing an aging, failing system is often a really smart long-term investment. It pays back in lower running costs and better performance.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, what does this all really mean for you running your business or managing your building? It means looking after your commercial HVAC system isn't just, a good idea. It feels like it's fundamental. Doing that regular maintenance, usually twice a year, is really how you dodge those massive unexpected repair bills, how you make the system last as long as possible, and how you make sure your space is comfortable, safe, and productive for everyone inside.
Exactly. And what's really interesting, I think, is how that regular maintenance brings predictability. It takes the guesswork out of it. It's not just about saving money, though it does that. It gives you stability. It helps you plan, helps you budget. You're swapping reactive panic for proactive control. Much better way to operate.
Well said. So, the final thought for you listening, don't wait for that catastrophic failure for the system to just give up on the hottest day of the year. Sure. Think about investing in that preventive maintenance now. Get that peace of mind. And maybe ask yourself this. In a time when every dollar counts, could neglecting your HVAC system actually be one of the most expensive decisions you're making without even